Hurricane Maria, considered to be the strongest storm to slam Puerto Rico in more than 80 years, has destroyed hundreds of homes and knocked out power to nearly the entire island of 3.4 million people. When the storm made landfall in the U.S. territory early Wednesday as a Category 4 storm with 145-mile-per-hour winds, it brought down cell towers and power lines and ripped roofs straight off of homes. Maria's core was gradually moving away from Puerto Rico, the National Hurricane Center wrote Wednesday in its 8 p.m. Eastern Time advisory. Maria weakened to a Category 2 storm Wednesday evening, but has the possibility of regaining major hurricane status by Thursday. The massive power outage came after Hurricane Irma tore through the island weeks ago, leaving more than 1 million people without electricity. As of Maria's arrival, more than 70,000 residents still had no electricity. Felix Delgado, mayor of the northern coastal town of Catano, said 80% of the 454 homes in his neighborhood were destroyed. Delgado said it'll take months and months and months and months for Puerto Rico to recover from the devastating storm. Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rossello urged people to have faith. "We are stronger than any hurricane." "Together, we will rebuild." He later asked President Donald Trump to declare the island a disaster zone, a step that would open the way to federal aid. More than 11,000 people were in shelters, Rossello said. In San Juan, Maria's fierce winds toppled trees and ripped away outside materials of high-rise buildings in the city, while people calling local radio stations reported that doors were flying off hinges and a water tank flew away in the island's southern region. Widespread flooding was reported across the island, with dozens of cars half submerged in some neighborhoods and many streets turned into rivers. Those who sought shelter at a coliseum in San Juan were moved to the building's second and third floors, reported radio station WKAQ 580 AM. The storm also spawned torrential rainfall across the island, leading to flash flood emergency warnings. Videos posted to Twitter showed floodwaters rushing through the streets of Guayama on the island's southern coast and other locations. Many feared extended power outages on the island would further sink businesses struggling amid a recession that has lasted more than a decade. "This is going to be a disaster," Jean-Robert Auguste, who owns 2 French restaurants and sought shelter at a San Juan hotel, told the Associated Press. "We haven't made any money this month." As Maria approached, President Donald Trump offered his support via Twitter, Puerto Rico being hit hard by a new monster hurricane. "Be careful, our hearts are with you. We'll be there to help." Maria ties for the 8th strongest storm in Atlantic history when measured by wind speed. Coming in second is this year's Irma, which had 185 miles per hour winds and killed 38 people in the Caribbean and another 36 in the U.S. earlier this month. The National Weather Service office in San Juan, Puerto Rico, warned of catastrophic damage from Maria's winds, as well as life-threatening rainfall flooding having possible devastating impacts in a hurricane local statement issued Tuesday evening. Locations may be uninhabitable for weeks or months, according to the NWS. Puerto Rico had long been spared from a direct hit by hurricanes that tend to veer north or south of the island. The last Category 4 hurricane landfall in Puerto Rico occurred in 1932, and the strongest storm to ever hit the island was San Felipe in 1928 with winds of 160 miles per hour. A report from a U.S. Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter mission late Tuesday confirmed Maria had strengthened as it neared the U.S. Virgin Islands' maximum sustained winds increased to 175 miles per hour, and central pressure dropped to 909 MB, a lower pressure than Irma had at any time. This is the lowest pressure for any Atlantic hurricane since Hurricane Dean's 905 MB minimum central pressure in August 2007, Dean said. It is also the 10th most intense hurricane in Atlantic Basin history, based on minimum central pressure. The storm's center passed near St. Croix overnight Tuesday, prompting U.S. Virgin Islands Governor Kenneth Mapp to insist that people remain alert. St. Croix was largely spared the widespread damage caused by Hurricane Irma on the Chain Street. Thomas and St. John Islands just 2 weeks ago. But this time, the island would experience 5 hours of hurricane-force winds, Mapp said. For folks in their homes, I really recommend that you not be in any kind of sleepwear, he said during a brief news conference. Make sure you have your shoes on. Make sure you have a jacket around. Something for your head in case your roof should breach. I don't really recommend you be sleeping from 11 o'clock to 4 a.m. Be aware of what's going on around you. Before slamming Puerto Rico, Maria caused widespread destruction across several islands in the Caribbean, leaving at least 9 dead. The storm killed one person in the French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe when a tree fell on them Tuesday, and 2 people aboard a boat were reported missing off La Desirade Island, just east of Guadeloupe, officials said. About 40% of the island, 80,000 homes, were without power and flooding was reported in several communities. The storm also blew over the tiny eastern Caribbean island of Dominica late Monday, where Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett sent out a series of dramatic posts on his Facebook page. Initial reports are of widespread devastation. So far we have lost all what money can buy and replace, he wrote. He added that his own roof had blown away. The winds are merciless. We shall survive by the grace of God, Scarrett wrote before communications went down. An advisor to Scarrett said as of Wednesday morning there have been 7 confirmed deaths in the Caribbean country from Maria. Hartley Henry didn't give details about how the deaths occurred and said the country is in a daze with no electricity or power and little to no communications. Henry added in a statement that there has been a tremendous loss of housing and public buildings in the mountainous island, but the full extent of the damage isn't known. After crossing Puerto Rico, Maria is going to pass near the Dominican Republic on Thursday, then the Turks and Caicos Friday, according to Fox News senior meteorologist Janice Dean. Hurricane watch has been issued for the Turks and Caicos and the southeastern Bahamas, which are still recovering from Irma. The eastern Dominican Republic is forecast to pick up 4 to 8 inches of rain, with isolated 12-inch amounts, and may also see hurricane-force winds develop as soon as Wednesday night. There is still some uncertainty, as any slight jog of the eye wall north could keep the most intense winds off the coast of the Dominican Republic, Dean said. As far as any potential impacts from Maria to the east coast of the U.S., Dean said it remains too early to determine. Fox News' Janice Dean and the Associated Press contributed to this report.